Hey, my name's Ryan, and today I'm going to teach you how to put some mustard on your power cleans. Here we go. Alright, just so we're on the same page here about what mustard really is. Here's a rep with no mustard. Just a plain Jane sandwich, no condiments, boring, dry. Alright, this would be a light application. It would be how you only get one mustard packet in the bag. You have to spread it evenly and thinly over the entire sandwich. And this would be heavy application. This is reserved for the sickest of individuals, alright? Too much mustard there, too much. Alright, if you haven't figured it out, it's about showing up and wanting to frickin' be here, alright? That's what putting mustard on some reps is all about. We always talk about the X's and O's of programming and how many sets should I do here and what percentage should I be lifting about, but what about just actually wanting to be here in the first place? That is the bedrock of good training. In the context of power cleans, 4 steps to putting mustard heavily on some reps. Number 1, attire. So starting off with the shoes, make sure you have a good pair of Olympic shoes on your feet. Listen, you don't need the newest Nike Romaleos or the finest shoes that weightlifting has to offer. If this is your first time buying weightlifting shoes, go on eBay, get you a used pair, and let's rock and roll. Now make sure you also have on your power pants. Pants seem to bring out the best of you in power cleaning. And then we also don't want cold ankles, so make sure you have on high socks. This is a secret many don't know that I'm sharing with you now, so please keep that between us. Moving up the chain, make sure you have on some sort of cutoff. Sleeves get in the way. Going sleeveless allows your elbows to rotate faster underneath the bar, and a little mid-drift is okay. Too much mid-drift is people are going to start asking questions, but a little mid-drift is just fine. And then finally, the cherry on top is a headband. You put a headband on and you're here to do one thing, and that is absolutely get after it. Number 2, environment. You want to lift in an environment that's conducive to your gains and what you're after. Now, there are many public gyms now that offer Olympic lifting equipment. But we're good patrons, right? You and I are good gym patrons. And although it's my recommendation that everybody lift with a little bit of mustard on their reps, not everybody's about that, right? So we want to make sure that we're being respectful to everybody at the same time. So you need to find a gym that's going to allow you to get a little bit rowdy, allow you to get some chalk on your hands, get it on the floor, and let out a few yeah buddies without scaring the entire community off. Number 3, enthusiasm. Number 3 is an underrated aspect of all of this. You have to be enthusiastic about lifting weights. This is the part that has gotten completely muddied by only viewing training through the lens of science. Jung once said, in science I miss the factor of meaning. That's because in science, and for information to be scientific, you must not inject your own opinion, your own bias, your own feelings onto the experiment. Guess what? This is the real world. You can do all of those things when you power clean. And building off of that, this movement is called the power clean. You want to show up and try to be powerful when you're doing this movement. As soon as your feet hit the ground on power clean day, when you wake up, you should feel it tingling. And then once you open those hallowed gym doors, that tingling is directed at one thing, and that's moving this bar with as much gusto as you can possibly muster. Listen, in short, this is a difficult movement. It's hard, it's not easy, and it's going to be even more difficult if you're not excited about being here. Come on! And number 4, the most important step of them all, freedom. Number 4 is the key to all of this. But the thing about number 4 is, it's not accessible to you at first. The general narrative on power cleans in strength and conditioning as a whole, I'm not necessarily talking about the smaller circles of Olympic weightlifting, is that the power clean is a very technical movement. And well, it is. Technical to the point that it's going to take a lot of practice and a lot of repetitions in order for you to really get it down pat. But once you get to that point where your technique is pretty much solidified and you have your own style, your own nuance, and you feel good about it, number 4 is about letting all of that stuff go and just coming to the bar with the intent of moving it with as much mustard and gusto as possible. We focus so much on technique and making sure that it's perfect and this and that and yeah, oh my God! If you think about that stuff too much when you're really getting after it, you're gonna run into that paralysis by analysis conundrum. You gotta show up and be free. Have fun with movement.
That's the only way. Okay. Crazy guy.
No! You could also call it letting the big dog eat. It's like that guy in The Rookie.
I'm your worst nightmare.
You gotta let it fly. We're here to rip some power cleans. We're not just here to lift this thing and get it to the front rack. I want to put it into the front rack with total freaking dominance. Give yourself the freedom to explore what that means to you. Little intermission here to bring you the word of the day as I cool off. It's like 100 freaking degrees right now. This is all I have. 50-cent word of the day. Zeitgeist. The spirit of an era. So next time you're at a cocktail party and people are trying to throw fancy words around, take this one out of your back pocket. The musical zeitgeist of the 2000s was primarily that of Linkin Park and Crossfade. Zeitgeist. You combine those 4 steps, you're going to be in for a wild ride next time you do some power cleans. Or really any training session for that matter. 99 times out of 100, it's not your program, it's not your periodization scheme. It's that you're not lifting with mustard. Ah! Yes! All this talk about mustard's got me feeling froggy. Training is fun!